Hello, everyone. Robert Niyazov is here, RNJ Capital, your trusted mortgage source. Hope everybody is well and safe and holding up. There's been a lot of better news these days that especially in the New York area and in the country as a whole, we peaked. So we all can't wait for this to finish and go back to our daily routine, going to work, start making a living. But obviously, we'll listen to the authorities until that's allowed. I wanted to talk about forbearances today, as I promised. I will also talk about a few other things. So, for this forbearance, we got a lot of phone calls, a lot of emails from past clients, some family members, friends, asking, what do we do with this? So, forbearance is not a forgiveness. It's a way for the bank to say, okay, you can skip the payment, but they all have to be returned. And by the way, sorry, during this time, the interest will be accruing. So it's not the greatest thing. It can have people that are experiencing temporary hardship. Although it's not a requirement, anybody can go into forbearance. I personally urge people not to do this if they don't have to, because there is no upside. Your credit may be affected. It will not be recorded as a late payment by credit agencies, but it will be recorded as a forbearance. As a result, the banks may say, we don't want to lend to them again. So if you're thinking of buying something in the near future, let's say in the next 12 months, 12 to 18 months, or you want to refinance, pull money out, and you put your current mortgage into forbearance, you may not be able to get credit. The reason I know is some of my banks that I work with, and I work with over 40 lenders as a mortgage broker, some of them already put this in their guidelines that if a person chose to go into forbearance, please don't bring that loan here. We don't want it. So yes, if you need to do this cautiously, and remember that this is something that may affect you negatively. And by the way, just to give you an example of forbearance, suppose your monthly mortgage payment is $2,000 and you skip April, May, and June. So that's 3 months at $2,000, that's $6,000. And then your July 1st payment is another $2,000. You have to make this $8,000 one lump sum payment at that moment. So, possible with some people, especially if they think they'll return to work, they will get some money from their vendors. It might be a good idea, but I'm just worried about that. Line on your credit report that potentially will show up and say, yeah, he was never late, but he was in forbearance, and therefore no credit can be granted at the moment. Now, same applies to renters. If you're renting and were able to make the rent payment, then the banks will ask for verification of rent, and the process is the same. Now, if absolutely people need to do this, it's definitely better than being late on the mortgage. Please call your servicer, your bank, and say that you need it, and put it in forbearance if you absolutely cannot make the payment. Just be aware of those consequences. Another way of working out a deal with your bank when you are unable to make a mortgage payment is called deferment. I will explain to you how it works. Let me consult the same example, the same $2,000 a month for a mortgage that an individual is unable to make due to hardship. What happens, and again, you skip April, May, and June, for example. It's 2,000, 2,000, 2,000, so that's $6,000 in total. So the bank will take the 6,000, they'll divide it by 12, which is $500 a month, and they will spread it over the next 12-month period. So from July 1, 2020, in this example, until June 2021, June 1, 2021, instead of making $2,000 payment, now you'll make $2,500. So $2,000 regular payment and $500 what you missed. Again, the interest will be accruing until everything else is paid off, or until those partial payments come in. There is another way of deferment. There's a subdivision of this deferment called end of loan deferment, where these 3 months are actually put to the back of the your loan. So if your loan, let's say, matures in 14 years, it will be 14 years and 3 months. also a way to do this. Not every bank is offering this. Those are three options. Sometimes they're not mutually exclusive. Some banks may offer all of them or some of them, but I just wanted you to be aware of the options. Other than that, I just wanted to mention that debt consolidation is very popular these days, where people, call and say, look, I have X amount in credit cards, or I have a first and a second mortgage, please combine it into one, or let me pull money out while I still can, and I'll invest it in maybe some future businesses or real estate. So that process is called cash out refinance for the house. So there's a lot of interest about this on this recently. I wish everyone to please stay safe and God bless you. And we'll see you again very soon. Thank you.